Yo, Pro Podcast listeners, help us out and click subscribe to show your support. And don't forget to head on over to our Patreon page, www.patreon.com/ProWrestlingPodcast. If you want to be a contributing member to the Fro Podcast, get the shout outs in the comments section, or even potentially host a live broadcast with me, then jump onto our Patreon page and subscribe to be one of our Patreon members. Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of the Fro Wrestling Podcast. We got to touch on everything Smackdown related and the day's news and rumors. Don't forget, get on over to our website at www.frolifeplanning.com/fan-poll to enter your votes in that 256 tag team tournament. Greatest tag team of all time. The links are live. They're going on right now. The voting will close tomorrow night at 8 p.m. where we will tally your votes. And on this Sunday night's live podcast, we will announce the winners that moved on to the next round, and we will get you your next round matches. Now, for those who have been tuning in each week to these new live broadcasts we do, this week we're shooting for Sunday night rather than Saturday night. Sunday night, 9 p.m., simply for the fact that scheduling made it that way, but we hope to have all of you back on again. Again, interactive questions. You'll have our sound off line will be live. You can send us your questions, your comments, your concerns, anything you want us to talk about during the episode. You guys help guide the show, so by all means, anybody interested, please check that out. Let's get going with some of today's news first. Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's in the news for a very comical reason. There was a whole interview done, I saw this on eWrestling News and WrestleZone.com, where they were talking about Bray Wyatt really getting into his character back when he was in developmental territories. If anybody doesn't remember, he was originally going to be Husky Harris, this overweight guy. He was a member of Nexus. He was on the NXT show. And the character just, there was no life in it. It really wasn't. It was kind of heavy set, his brother Bo Dallas, like a heavy set Bo Dallas. And fans weren't connecting with that. He got repackaged into Bray Wyatt, and Dusty Rhodes, his mentor at the time, really wanted him to get into this character, so much so that he told him to go. He got called for jury duty, and he made him go to jury duty in character as Bray Wyatt, in the white pants, with the Hawaiian shirt and all that kind of craziness. Can you imagine? You're going to a jury duty selection meeting, which of course he did not get chosen for jury duty, but you're going in to select jurors, and here's this 300-pound guy sitting there in a white pair of pants, probably some flat shoes, a white wife beater, you got the Hawaiian shirt on, the hat, the long scruffy beard, and this is a guy you've got to decide whether or not he can hear whatever type of court case it was that he was being called for. Very bizarre, but I love the story because it tells you just how much he is committed to the Bray Wyatt character and to the future of his character development. This is before the Wyatt family really started getting their life. It's before they were brought to the main roster. This is part of what he did to really indoctrinate himself and immerse himself in this character. What an awesome story. Alberto El Patron is in the news today. He's talking about in the next 2 years, he'll be wrestling with Impact Wrestling, and at the end of that contract, he's going to be retiring from wrestling. Not that he won't still do random appearances somewhere on the independents. I'm sure he'll pop in here and there with his future wife, his fiancee Paige's family being in the wrestling business. I'm sure he'll make appearances for them from time to time, but it sounds like he doesn't want to stay in the business like some of these people do forever. He doesn't want to be one of those guys who's in the business so long that he's not relevant anymore. He can't move the way he used to be able to move. He wants to leave while he's on top. I think that was the direct quote, was he wants to leave when he's on top. Well, in 2 years, it looks like that's when he thinks he'll be on top and ready to step away. He does have tons of things going on outside the wrestling world. He does do the Combat Americas stuff with mixed martial arts. He made reference to having a restaurant. I believe it was in San Antonio. He has all kinds of other business ventures going on, all the way down to a television show and a reality show. So there's a whole lot going on in the world of Alberto El Patron. I'm not surprised he wants to take a step back from the in-ring competition that has become very intense, especially in the independent scene where he spends the majority of his time. Even Impact Wrestling has been getting more and more physically demanding in the recent time, and that's something that could only facilitate him wanting to move on that much quicker. In WWE news, Eva Marie, the all-red Eva Marie, the person who really, let's be honest, has had one of the most flopping careers in the history of professional wrestling, apparently is not returning to WWE or to Total Divas. She's going to be replaced. Now, I did see a report only moments ago that the theory is she'll be replaced by Charlotte on Total Divas. I don't know how well that'll go over. Charlotte's like 9'14", and all these other girls are like 5'3", but it'll be interesting to see how they transition away from Eva Marie and into Charlotte's character. but she apparently is done with WWE altogether. They already announced they weren't going to renew her contract, and if you go to her Twitter feed, she's removed everything related to WWE on there. She doesn't reference being a former professional wrestler. She doesn't reference Total Divas. She's distancing herself as best she can. She has her own line of clothing and other ventures that she's involved with, and that seems to be where she wants to put her focus. No big loss to the wrestling industry, as I don't think the girl has had an ounce of wrestling talent since the minute she stepped into a ring. It's kind of been a shame that WWE put so much emphasis on her. They were really trying to give her a push, and then she slammed herself with one of those wellness policy violations, and she's never come back since. And you can make the argument that, you know, they didn't feel she had the in-ring capacity to really compete with the divas, with this diva revolution that's going on, or whatever the reason is, but they've kept her off television. She's not come back, and it's not something anybody is going to miss. I found an interesting tidbit from Batista today doing an interview that I found on WrestlingInc.com and also on PWI-online.com. Pro Wrestling Illustrated Online is one of the best websites you can go to for just diehard news. They pretty much grab stories from all over the place and put them on their website. It's an awesome site. So if you don't use that currently, check that out. But they were talking an interview with Batista where he talked about some of the talents that are in WWE today, and he made reference of he would love to be able to face Bray Wyatt. He thinks Bray Wyatt has got it all, and that's somebody he would love to get in the ring with. Which is curious to me because only a couple weeks ago we were talking about the interview that he did where he said that he only has interest in one thing, a program with Triple H to be his retirement program. But the truth is, after you read this interview, there is a chance. I think if Vince McMahon really wanted to make this happen, if Triple H wanted to make it happen, I think they could sales pitch Batista on a program with Bray Wyatt, and it could be meaningful. It could be special. It could be something that is different than everything else he's done in his career. And if you go back over the list of wrestlers that Batista wrestled in his heyday, his peak time, there's not a lot there, anything remotely close to Bray Wyatt. Let's face it, there's not a lot of stuff like Bray Wyatt throughout the history of pro wrestling to begin with. You have sadistic characters here and there, the Kevin Sullivans of the world, the Mick Foleys when he was in his dark phases and when he did Mankind, but there's never been anybody quite like Bray Wyatt. Even The Undertaker, his character can get pretty dark at times, but Bray Wyatt takes it to a whole new creepy, deliverance level. It's bizarre. And so what an interesting feud that would be to see Bray Wyatt and Batista hook up in the ring. Last night was the first night we have the results from the Best of the Super Juniors tournament in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Big matches. This tournament is phenomenal every single year. I hope you get an opportunity to find these matches online. In Block A, Taka Michinoku, for those WWE fans of old, he used to be in WWE when they had their light heavyweight and then eventually their cruiserweight championship. He defeated Jushin Thunder Liger, a stalwart legend of cruiserweight competition. Ricochet defeated Tai Chi, much expected. Ricochet is so over there. Marty Scurll, making his debut with New Japan Pro Wrestling, defeats Will Ospreay in his opening match. And Dragon Lee defeats Hiromu Takahashi. That one I actually did not expect. I expected Takahashi to go over there to lend some credence to the Bullet Club representation in the tournament. In Block B, Volador Jr. defeated Tiger Mask. ACH defeated Bushi. El Desperado defeated Kushida in a monstrous upset. Kushida is the man in New Japan Pro Wrestling Cruiserweight division. He has been for an extended period of time. Just won the Ring of Honor Television Championship at their television tapings. I didn't expect to see Kushida lose a match this early in the tournament. This is a round-robin fashion, so these guys will all wrestle each other, but I expected Kushida, because of that push that he's going to get in Ring of Honor, to be the featured talent in Block B. Raizuki Taguchi defeated Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And so, top to bottom, Block A, Block B, great matches all the way around. If you love that high-flying, this is a great week for this because of Randy Orton's comments about independent wrestling with all the high spots and dives and flops and all this. That's a lot of what you see in the Super Juniors tournament, but they do it in such a masterful way. This is why when Randy Orton made the comments that he made, I don't think he understands. The Best of the Super Juniors tournament has been like that for 25 years. Going all the way back to people like Chris Benoit when he was Wild Pegasus, and Eddie Guerrero when he was over there, and all these young, Chris Jericho, they were doing high-flying stuff for 25 years now. This is not something new that wrestling has progressed to with these independents. This is killer action from a cruiserweight division that is significantly more deep than WWE's cruiserweight division. If you want to see the best cruiserweights in the world, tune in to New Japan Pro Wrestling, because these cruiserweights are amazing. Last but not least, the SmackDown reaction. I just, this week's show didn't blow me out of the water, didn't disappoint either. It left me scratching my head a little bit with certain things. For example, the opening match with Jinder Mahal defeating AJ Styles. The problem I have here is not Mahal winning the match, okay? On the surface, I kind of feel like, oh my gosh, this jobber from 3 months ago just beat the face that runs the place, and that seems strange in and of itself. But what I have a problem with is I don't remember if Jinder Mahal has won any matches clean since he's made this huge leap in his character. The Singh brothers get involved. There's a distraction by them. Kevin Owens hits the championship belt to the knee. Styles falls on the mat, and Mahal hits his finishing maneuver to defeat Styles. I don't have a problem with Mahal winning because he's the main event at the pay-per-view, but I don't like that he's not getting any clean wins, and I don't like him getting this win over Styles in the fashion that he did because it makes his character look weak, and right now you want him to look strong. I gotta say, I love the Fashion File videos. It's like a throwback for anybody who remembers when D-Generation X came back, when Triple H and Shawn Michaels reformed, back when the Spirit Squad was out. They did these crazy vignettes where they were teasing Vince McMahon in the back, and they had, the big fat dude dancing in his G-string, and they had, like, the guy make the special delivery with the adult paraphernalia, and you had Dusty Rhodes pop in, and an alien-looking guy who was walking like Vince McMahon. Those vignettes were, like, classic, and I feel like these Fashion File videos are right along those lines. These are ones that are hilarious, they're engaging, and they're really creating an opportunity for Breezango to establish themselves as more than just a comedic performing act, which they are. Don't get me wrong, I understand they are comedy. But then right after this promo, they go out to the ring and they dismantle the Colognes. Now, I'm not happy about that because I like the Colognes. I think they should have gotten a better push. But if you're not going to push the Colognes, push the heck out of Breezango. And that's what it looks like they're doing. So I actually hope Breezango takes the Tag Team Championship at the pay-per-view. I would love to see them get an opportunity. They have been so misused, especially Tyler Breeze since making the main roster debuts. So I'm looking forward to that tag team match at the pay-per-view. We had the women's contract signing. Just my personal opinion, I had no interest in any of this. The only interesting nugget from this contract signing was when Charlotte was saying her 2 cents, and at the end made it reference to, after this match is over, she's coming for, essentially the women's championship, which is an awkward moment because she's teaming with the woman that she would have to be going after to do that. So I love that they laid the groundwork for that to going forward. The problem I have with it is we've already seen that match twice already. So alluding to a match that could happen that we've already seen twice and really didn't get any satisfaction from doesn't do much for me. I actually think that they should move that championship to someone else, and it looks like there's a chance that Carmella might be the one they move that championship to. I've seen that rumor floating all over the internet today. Every news source you can find, everybody seems to think Carmella is in line to be the next SmackDown Women's Champion. If she is, more power to her. Anything that brings more exposure to James Ellsworth. I'm an Ellsworth fan. I actually saw a post on Facebook today. Somebody said, finish this line. Any fan who watches WWE knows. And it was like a blank. You had to fill in the blank. And I put down, Brock fears Ellsworth. I got a lot of response to that. I love that. So, moving on, the main event of the night, Randy Orton faces Baron Corbin. I love the match on paper. I think these two actually have relatively good chemistry considering Corbin's inexperience and Orton's, I hate to say it, but his lack of repertoire. His matches are almost carbon copies of each other going back the last 10 years, but these two seem to look pretty good in the ring. Maybe it's their size, maybe it's their build, I don't know what it is, but they look good in the ring. Orton ends up winning the match. After the match, Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers, of course, are going to attack because you got to have that one last attack before the pay-per-view. Overall, SmackDown for me was not the most impressive show in the world, and here's why I say that, because when you look at Raw, what Raw did, you got some matches on Raw this week that really are pay-per-view quality matches, at least on paper. The Finn-Balor match going against Roman Reigns, that's a headline for a pay-per-view. You got it on free TV. The Dean Ambrose-Miz match, that's a main event style match. The Seth Rollins match is a main event style match against Bray Wyatt. So you got 3 super high quality matches on Raw. Where you go to SmackDown, yeah, you get the Mahal AJ Styles thing, and I know that's your number 1 contenders to the 2 championships, but the truth is Jinder Mahal has not been bought into yet by the fans. So pushing him as that main event talent, it's a little premature for that. Then when you go to the main event, you got Randy Orton, that's fine, but Baron Corbin, in a lot of the way that Jinder Mahal is not established yet to be that guy, Baron Corbin hasn't had as much exposure the last couple weeks. His star is kind of dwindling a little bit, and then you throw him into the main event. Not that he's not worthy of it. He just doesn't have the reputation to sell it like any of the 3 matches that were on Raw. And those matches on Raw, none of the three of them were probably the match of the night. The Cruiserweight Tag Team match was probably the match of the night, but that one we've seen 800 times, so we kind of lost interest. Don't forget, get over there and get started on voting, the fan voting for our 256th greatest tag team of all time tournament. The links are live right now. The website is frolifeplanning.com/fanpoll. Don't forget our patron page. If you want to be a patron to the Fro Wrestling Podcast, we would love you forever and all time. And we'll also give you shout outs on all of our videos. Depending on what level you contribute to our podcast, we got other special tidbits for you. By all means, if you know anybody that would like to be a patron of our page, we would appreciate all the help and support we can get from our loyal listeners. That's all the time we have for this episode, but check back with us next time. We will go over everything that goes on in the world of wrestling. That's what we do here. Special thanks as always out to bensound.com and purpleplanet.com for producing all the music and sound effects you used in today's show. Today's podcast was sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bringing a new friend to family game night is easy with sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side in this new game from Beazle Games by going to www.thegamecrafter.com/sketchypeople to pick up your copy today. And to alleyrepair.com. Contact Alley Repair today for servicing of all of your classic skee-ball, pinball, and arcade game needs. Be sure to shoot over to our website at www.frolifeplanning.com for all of your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Mr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking a few moments with us today. And if you're looking for more wrestling news and rumors, go to www.tsjsports.com/WWE for the latest articles on the world of professional wrestling. Until next episode, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to click that subscribe, and we'll see you at our live show Sunday night, 9 p.m.